Howdy YouTube, welcome to RV Daydream. I'm excited because this is the size of battery that I think most RVers should be into. And this one is the same size as the one that we put in our fifth wheel, and we had really good luck with it with just the solar that was provided from the factory, which I think was about 400 watts. Yeah, that was a good setup.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream.
I get it. The stuff that you have now is working, and I'll have to agree with a lot of you on the I'm just a weekend warrior type camper, or I only go out for just a couple of weeks. In one aspect, the batteries that usually come with your RV are just a lead acid battery, meaning a traditional battery, like whatever you get in your car. They have ones that are called deep cycles that are for RVs and boats, and basically it allows the battery to provide not as much of a jump in power, a boost in power that's like in a car that's needed to get it started, but instead it offers a long amount of power for a longer period of time as it falls off. And those batteries, the deep cycle batteries, those are a little bit more expensive than just a standard car battery. Your other choice then, staying with the lead acid battery, is a lot of people like to do the golf cart batteries. Again, it's a more of a long-term discharge type battery, but there's a lot of disadvantages to the golf cart and the regular the deep cycle battery, and that the weight, they're very heavy. So they're a little bit more expensive than the automotive batteries usually, and they're heavy. They're a very heavy battery, and they have lead acid in them, meaning that there's a chance, since they're vented, that you have to store that battery in such a way that it can vent. Now, most of us just have, on a travel trailer, has the battery sitting out on the tongue of their trailer. On the fifth wheels, like when we got our fifth wheel, they had this whole battery box thing. It was a box that had a top to it, that had a tube to it, that went up and went to a vent that vented on the outside of the RV. And they had to do that because those lead acid batteries, that's usually what the RV dealer supplies you with, they were venting. They vented, or they had to be vented out. And the fact that I had two of them, because in a fifth wheel there's a lot more stuff. Usually most fifth wheels are 50 amp, and it's because you have so much crap inside there. Like in our case, we had washers and dryers and all that stuff, but not only that, just more lights, more fans, more 12-volt accessories, the refrigerator probably running on 12 volt. In our case, we had an inverter that ran a few of the outlets. So the fact that it had two of these, it took up a lot of space in our front storage area of our fifth wheel. And even if you have a travel trailer, having two batteries on the tongue of your travel trailer, again, takes up a pretty decent amount of space. So we were always looking at lithium ion, and the main reason is because lithium ion batteries go a lot longer before they fall off. Now, sealed lead acid batteries, they go quite a ways, but then they start just nosediving, they start losing charge, and then that's it, they're done. The lithium ion batteries, they go a lot longer. When they're done though, they just kind of shut off. They have a lot of protection built into them, which we'll talk about that here in a second. That allows the battery to go a lot longer before it turns off and protects itself, and you get a lot more usable power. Now, I'm sure a lot of you think, well, that's one of the, I understand that's a good benefit, but there's more benefits to it. The other thing is this is lightweight. This is much lighter than what you would get with a similar lead acid battery, because there's no real fluid in here sitting. And I'm talking about a lead acid or sealed lead acid battery. Both of them have a liquid in them, or a matte in them, that is saturated, and it's heavy. It's a heavy battery. This one, which we'll see here in a second, is a large battery, yet it weighs about the same as a regular deep cycle battery, regular automotive battery, and you've got this big battery here that does so much more. The other thing, this is the biggest plus to lithium ion that people don't take in consideration. So when you plug into the campground, or you plug into your garage at home, or your outlet at home, and you want to recharge your batteries, or you want to start your generator and you want to recharge your batteries, or you have a whole bunch of solar panels on the roof of your RV and you want to recharge your battery. With lithium ion, they take charge fast. They take a lot of charge. You can juice them up with a lot of energy and they recover a lot faster. So the benefits of the lithium ion is the big ones. They have a lot more stored power that gives you power over a longer period of time. They are lighter weight, and they also restore or recharge themselves a lot faster. So as far as lithium ion is concerned, you will have to make sure that your converter charger that you have in your RV either self-senses that it's lithium ion, which a lot of them are coming out of the factory that way, new, or is strictly made for lithium ion. So let's go ahead and get this out, because this company, GOLDENMATE, they've got great pricing and they've got a lot of products, a lot more than some of the other companies that I've reviewed. So here it is outside of its overbox. Good job on GOLDENMATE for overboxing stuff, because they could have easily just tried to ship it in this, and this is a heavy box. With packaging, it's not a good idea. I mean, these things are pretty heavy, and these shipping companies beat these things up pretty good whenever they're trying to get them to you. Kudos to them for packaging it up real nice. All right, let's go ahead and see what this looks like here. Got some kind of styrofoam on top. It's very tight. They've got a little booklet that comes in here. It's the user manual. And this is a LiFePO4 battery. This is a model number LFP12200. Read through the manual. It talks about a lot of the specs. I'm going to go over some of these specs with you, though, using my phone. I've got more information on my phone. And now, for the big reveal, it's got a couple of rope handles. And here it is. Not a lot to look at. I mean, it does have a label on the front, and there's a QR code on the back here it says get 24/7 assistance. That's one of the things that I liked about the company is, and you've got to watch the wording with a lot of these companies. The way that they say things might get some people confused. This has a 10-year lifetime. Let's say it that way. That's how they say it. 10-year lifetime. What's that mean is they expect this to go 10 years. Now, that doesn't mean there's a 10-year warranty or a 10-year guarantee. But if you have a problem in the 10 years of ownership that you have it, as long as it's used correctly, there's a good chance they're going to take care of you on a warranty side of things. But they want to make sure that you know that you have assistance on this battery for 10 years if you have any issues, as long as you're using it correctly. Again, as long as you have basically a charger that is set up to manage lithium ion and charge it the way that it's supposed to, there is a lot of built-in protection in these batteries that help them protect themselves. So it makes it to where if it's too cold out, it won't accept the charge. If it's too hot out, it won't accept the charge. But there are ways to still abuse these things, and that is continuously not recharging it to a state of charge. I think they refer to that as SOC, that is recommended. But read through the manual, go through their information, and find out what they recommend for their battery, and just make sure that whatever you have set up, solar, your inverter use, your charge controller, just make sure that it's doing what this battery recommends. Now you see here on the front, there's a lot of information. They're talking about the charge voltage, which is 14.4 volts. Again, a lot of chargers, standard battery chargers, don't do that. Not for a long period of time, at least. The current charge is 40 amps with a 100 amp max. That means you could put 40 amps into this. Now, most battery chargers that you get to recharge your standard deep cycle battery, they're about 10 amp. And this one's 40, so you can see how much power this thing will take when you're needing to recharge it. And then you have your continuous discharge current, which is 120 amps. The operating temperatures during a charge can be 0 to 50 degrees Celsius, and the discharge can be -20 to +60 Celsius. So I don't want to scare you when I talk about how they are temperature sensitive. They're more temperature sensitive during the charging not so much the discharging. The discharging has a large range of temperature it'll operate under. It's whenever you're trying to put a charge back into this that it needs to be in a smaller window of temperature. So obviously GoldenMate, the company, is one of those that is hitting the market, saturating the US market, and these can be obtained through Amazon relatively easy. The shipping time on these is relatively quick, and the bigger the battery, obviously then, the longer you can go through the night. Like in our case, we didn't want to start our generator to run our air conditioning, and then we knew it was going to be kind of warm, in the evening, but not terrible. And we had 3 fans, 3 max air fans in our RV, and we could turn all of them on and open our windows in our bedroom, and it just sucked all the nice cool air from outside into our sleeping area. So the other thing that this battery offers over SLA batteries, this one will be able to be charged and discharged 2,000 to 7,000 times, fully charged and discharged, depending on how abusive you are towards it. And I mean running it until the BMS shuts it off, charging it 100%, then the next day doing the same thing all the way until it shuts it off entirely. You can still get 2,000 to 7,000 times of this thing being able to be charged and discharged, whereas the sealed lead acid batteries, you're only talking 200 to 500 times. So that is a big difference as far as how long these things last. That's why they cost a little bit more money. You're getting a battery that does more all the way around. The fact that they're automotive grade batteries, they are certified. This is UL tested and certified. So they do have protection. You're just not getting a bunch of batteries taped together and thrown in a box that you have to be worried about. So these things are like 1/3 the weight of what a standard battery that would be equivalent to this is. I mean, that's a big difference. And why would you be concerned? You're probably thinking, or you might be contemplating possibly, well, why would I care? Why do I care about that? Well, in an RV, again, we don't want to add a lot of weight to it. And there's some of you that want to go off grid. Some of you want to go down to quartzsite and you want to stay a long time at quartzsite. Well, there's a period of time that you could potentially not have enough solar to where you get your batteries fully charged, or you might need to depend on your batteries more to carry you through until the next sun event that'll allow the batteries to get back to full charge. So what you guys do, and rightly so, is you add extra batteries. So if you have a battery that's a lead acid battery, and you're adding more of them, I mean, they're already heavy and you're adding more of them, you can get away with 4 of these. You can do 4 of these together. Man, if you got 4 of these things, you're gonna be able to stay out quite a long time. And again, as long as you have solar to recharge them, you're in good shape. Or of course your generator. You got to match it up. So don't go overboard. Don't go out and buy a bunch of batteries. Just buy what you need and add as you find you need more. So I hope this helped you out. And as always, guys, we hope to see you out there. Bye.